need a drink. Bonjour mon petit chauffeur, Amber here, and I am irritated. Before we get started, let's just address a few things. I am sick. I took some Benadryl. It is almost 1 o'clock in the morning, so I'm doing my best. But I couldn't keep sitting on this. I had to just sit down and vent, you know? So I am taking part currently in the Disney readathon, and the first prompt was to read a book featuring royalty, and for that prompt I decided to read Damsel by Alana K. Arnold. And I read Damsel by Alana K. Arnold, and I finished reading this book almost 4 hours ago, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. So I figured I won't be able to move on to the next book for this readathon until I get all of my thoughts out and just discuss. So briefly, this book kind of is a take on the whole damsel in distress trope, I guess. Knight in shining armor, Prince Charming rescuing the damsel in her tower by being held captive by the dragon situation trope. This is set in a world where, in order for the prince to become the king, to become the king, he must take a quest on his own, slay a dragon, rescue the damsel, and she becomes his queen, his wife. And the damsel has no recollection of her life prior to basically waking up in the prince's arms. And the story starts with Prince Emery on said quest, slaying or fighting said dragon, and the damsel, who he names Amma, and that's this book. When I first read the synopsis of this book, I really, really wanted to read it. It was, I don't want to say I was promised, but I was promised a feminist, I guess, twist on a classic fairy tale trope. I love fairy tale. This isn't a retelling by any means, but I love anything that leans toward that type of situation. This cover is gorgeous, and I just really loved the premise of the book, the story of what happens after the damsel is rescued, the premise, the whole thing where she doesn't have any memory of her life before. Yeah, I guess just what comes with that and her learning, and then I didn't hear anything about it. Like, no one was talking about this book or reviewing this book, and I honestly forgot that I owned it until very recently when Brittany, I think it was Brittany from Brittany the Bibliophile, was reading the book and she was talking about it, and I was like, oh, I have the book, and that would be a good fit for the readathon that I'm taking part of, especially because it's a short book. So I dug it out and I read it, and I don't regret reading it. I'm angry, you know? I'm trying to collect my thoughts and not sound like it's 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm on Benadryl, but I get the point of the book. I get where Alana K. Arnold is going with the book. I understand and appreciate the intent for the book and the premise. The execution just did not do it for me. This book is very, very much a story about a lot of things. It's about abuse, the cycle of abuse, toxic masculinity, male privilege, I guess like rape culture, and just like all of that in this tiny little book. And if it were done right, it would have been spectacular. But I feel it wasn't. It wasn't. It just wasn't, you know? Like I said, I get it. I get what you were going for. It's just a few things. One, this book 100% was dark and graphic just to be dark and graphic. It felt like, I think that the topics and a lot of the situations that happened obviously were important to the story for the point, but okay, my problem with it is one, I am actually quite shocked that there was no sort of trigger warning on this book, especially because it's targeted to a YA audience. And in no way am I saying that it shouldn't be a YA book, because like these things happen to people, YA, young adults and younger, you know. I just think there are a lot of people that would have benefited from there are a lot of people that would benefit from being warned of what's in this book. So, there should be trigger warnings for abuse, sexual assault, sexual harassment, and a lot of animal abuse and just violence and manipulation and just a lot. I just hit myself in the face. There's just a lot. This whole book is one big trigger, basically. Okay, what was I saying? I felt like this book was just, there was no plot to the book. It didn't feel like. It felt more like a series or a cluster of things happening to Amma, but not like, it didn't feel like it was actually building to actually go anywhere. It was just a bunch of things happening to her. No resolutions, no plot. I felt like what I wanted from this book, there was no sense of like hope. I just was left feeling anger and just like this sense of dread, because at the end of the day, at the end of the book, it took up until page 197 of 309 pages for anything even remotely positive to happen for or to this girl. And it seems like, it also seems like good things happen to her just to be taken away, basically. And like I was saying, I just felt like this sense of dread, almost like, yes, men do awful things and abuse their power and abuse women, and women are mistreated, and then that's it. You just deal with it. Like, okay. Now I will say at the very end, literally the very end, the last like 3 pages of this book, I guess, is when some sort of power is taken back, but at that point it just feels like it was just stuck in there. I mean, I was happy about it, but because after 300 and something pages, I needed something, you know? I do appreciate the fact that there is a conversation about like the cycle of abuse and how a lot of actions are taught and passed down. And also, like, I was reading Mel from Mel to the Ennies review of the book on Goodreads, and she mentioned it's like the topic in conversation, like gaslighting, is brought up. And I mean, Emery is very manipulative, and ooh, I wanted him to die. I'm sorry. Another thing that bothered me is like this was marketed, why did I say it like that? Marketed as like this feminist book. But there was no like empowerment in this book. There was no like sisterhood or camaraderie at all in this book. Even like all the other women in this book, it still seems to be against her. Everything had to be a contest or like a, this is the hand you're dealt with. It is what it is. Like she didn't have a single ally in this book, and I'm just like, what's going on here? What is the message that you're trying to give? What is it? What is it? Make it make sense, Alana.
Wow.
And the thing is, I'm so heated, and I didn't even care about the main character. I had no emotional connection. I was just so pissed off about all the awful, sketchy things that kept happening. But I didn't care about Amma in the slightest. I cared more about her cat than I cared about her. I was more invested in that storyline. So I'm like, she's not even a compelling character. She's just, maybe that was intentional, like the whole Damsel thing. She's supposed to just be like, what is it, the Mary Sue, just like a bland character. But like, that doesn't work if you're trying to shed light on this trope and situation. Like, make her a person, a character. She doesn't have her memories from her life, but like she still has a personality. I don't know, this book did not work for me in the slightest, and I just really felt like I needed to talk about it. I think that covers everything. Like look at my tabs, look at my tabbies. Let me explain this to you really quick. So I don't know if you can see it like this. The orange tabs, those are all the moments where I was like, WTF, or I hate this, or just like, this is really sketchy, I'm uncomfy. And then I ran out of orange tabs, and I had a few blue ones left, so let's continue this saga. Then I ran out of blue ones, and so I started using purple. The pink ones are like some cool, good lines that are relatable and do relate to real life, but also, there were these like section bits that I didn't understand. Oh wait, no, I said earlier it took until page 197 for something good to happen. That's a whole lie. I was confusing it with this because the note says it took until page 197 for me to, I don't know, at the time I thought they signified the days, but maybe it's weeks. I really don't know what the purpose of this was. It was never explained. But I should have said it took until page 3, sorry, I just wrote one of my tabs, 300, literally page 309 for something even remotely good to happen. And I'm just like, I'm fed up, I'm done. This isn't the book I wanted, this is not what I signed up for, and just, I didn't need that in my life. And I'm so mad, I think I'm so mad because I really wanted to love this book. I loved the premise of it, and I wish I could, you know how, what tag is that, where, is it, what, I don't remember what tag it is, where you have the option, you just have to choose three books, like, one you would trash, one something something, and one you would rewrite if you could. I would rewrite this book if I could. I don't think I have anything else to say. At the end of the day, I gave it 3 stars because while I was really pissed off the whole time I read the book, it wasn't like that poorly written or anything. The one thing I could have done without is referring to this boy's peen as his yard the whole time. I couldn't take that seriously. But yeah, I finished the book. There was the very last page where I got excited, and my mom goes, "Wow, that's the first cheer I've heard this whole book." So that should really tell you all you need to know. It is what it is. I haven't done a book rant in a while, so thank you for watching and listening if you did. I feel like I'm going to pass out, so I should stop talking. If you like this video, as crusty as it is, please give it a thumbs up. If you like me, feel free to subscribe. All my places are down here so you can follow me, and I'll follow you back and we can talk about books. And I'll see you very soon. Bye!